I didn't know whether to write this or to make a recording of it. So this is for the REM. The REM is very real. The REM is all around us. Is past quantum, is origin, is where we find ourselves at one. Yes, the creator. It has to do with origin, essentials, origin. So the essentials to be meditated, to be manifest life with this piece, you when you project different multiverse of who you are, you could put yourself in one of the multiverse you create as just your one and nothing behind that, and you could start declining, and you could start really like not erasing, because you're still a human. You have a human identity. You have a human code. You have a human being of natural biological make and functions. Like, for example, if somebody's telling you the truth and you're hearing it, the frequency of truth and knowledge is gonna sound different than a lie. The lie is reject, doesn't take in, it will decline. Things you grow with what is a negative charge or a positive charge, it makes different things and creates different perspectives and different versions of your life and yourself. It could take you further out of your nature or more into your nature, which more in that's when you're going in the roots into the REMs, because you're always in the REM because you're born within that REM, because you originated from the creator of it all. So this is right in the avenue. Dreams are right in the stems, they are right in the avenue. Dreams are something that you could be in the REM. It could take you to the REM from the dreams. Dreams that's why I said don't think, is a meditational state. Don't think, because when you acknowledging that you feel that you're in a different, that's a different verse. But then this is a natural, because when you're sleeping, you're recuperating. Your body is coming back to its sense without the outside world being interfered in it. Now, whatever minds and things you bring from the outside into this REM, when you're dreaming, is going to be something more of a clearness, of a more generated, like, even if it's a you feel like it's a bad dream, it has a pull to your nature, where you maybe these images are trying to tell you about your biological make and how to be well with yourself, because it's recuperating. So you have to take all this in. When you in dreams, there's the times that you might, and there's a low percentage, but everybody could do it because you are just a person. But there's things that have been recorded for ever since the beginning of people noticing that you could control. You seems like you can control the dream. That's when you in the REM and you realize that you in the REM. Once you could realize you in the REM, you can't think. If you think that you know that you in the REM, it starts fading, or it automatically you wake up, because you already know you're there. You don't have to think about it. That's why I said, when you meditating, when you want to get to that place, when you out here, you don't have to think to be in that place. You're already in that place. So if you have to put a lot of things in thoughts comes from the things that are outside out of its nature. So it gets your thoughts. That's what happened. Your thoughts, when you think, it intervenes with things that are not of your nature, and things that are not of your nature, you're not gonna perceive it in the REM. It's not part of the REM. In the REM, you're gonna feel everything that you can feel. Fly. You could see. There's timeless speed. It's all yours. Like everything is perfect. You could do everything that you want to do. That in the that in when you in the verse, when you wake up and when you put that yourself in the verse, now you just categorize it as a dream. Like it has no connection to what the outside world. Because the outside world that you see when you out of the dream is your reality, but is your that's your multiverse that you create. Because when you're small, you start learning and putting things in your head of what is outside and what are you, and what are you to the world, to bring in and to collect and to create things around it. And you have feelings and you have bondings to it. So you create groups and individual things to yourself for things out there like that. And it could be well off out of its nature. And it pulls you into a reality that it'll take you further away from the nature of yourself and your being. And you have senses that takes you there. But it's up to you. You have your own will to carry on with these senses. Everything has senses. And then the primary language, universal language, it is meditation. Meditation, the primary language. All of life is already in the REM, because they don't think. See how birds fly, how the air flows. It has an entity. Everything has its own. It's part of the nature of how all the organs and your anatomy is going to function. So you have to pay attention to everything. Nobody's lazy out here. Like the whole world is doing what it does. That's why we could take the breath in. This is why we could take the breath out, and just call it living. But it's not the living that you're gonna perceive all day, every day. Then it's gonna take you out. Like I personally, like I'm like gazing. I am grounding. I am meditating. Like there's a certain health factors to your life, and how to keep up with the REM. So you could be at whole, because the world is gonna change, and it's gonna move, and it's gonna go another direction, as you can see. And then, although when you're in the REM, you can see it in a different. You can see these things like patterns. Then you can pick out these patterns. Like you see it automatically. You don't have to even sit down and map out and see what the world is. Is this a conspiracy? I don't know. Or you tell people like me, I don't sit back and think about nothing. That's what I said. I don't think. I'm an autopilot. So then I as soon as I just see patterns and stuff, and then I'm like, this is done. This is what people have been doing. They do it all over and over. So I can say, boom, this is a solution, because I'm already in the REM. I'm where everything is 100%. Nothing is halfway or missing or issue. It's the solution. So people are just podcasting a bunch of the same thing, the problem, the issue. They make a lot of things, and then they be like, oh, we created awareness. Were they part of no, we're not part of that. We're part of awareness. They don't have no solutions to themselves in their life. They don't even acknowledge that there is solutions, because they want to stay into controversy, the stories. You see what I'm saying? Just stories get people thinking, and then you're not in the REM. You're just among people that just they have a business. You watching them talking about nothing. because they all they saying is the same thing over and over in different ways and in different places, different languages, and you get caught up with, all right, so what's in all this stuff? There's a lot of people that scantrum, because scantrum is not about truth. It's just different frequencies, and then you get. That's what I'm saying. That's how the authorities with the servants. This is keeping you in a certain frequency, and then what? You have to rely. They have you relying on these type of authorities and practices, and they know, in fact, they taking away from isolating you from truth and isolating you from the REM, from your wellness. And then what do they have? They have artificial care factors kits for these big like crisis, pandemics, economic issues, like all these these are artificials, intelligence, like program computers to do, like people are being like a computer, just going through a file and profiling on things to do with things that they've been doing all this time. And it's just like, it's a cycle that takes you way out of the nature into like medical things, even that will take you out of your nature, because now you put in substances and you have to rely on certain things not to irritate or mess with your plasma, that is gonna, all these things give plasma to where the energy, where you it feeds up to the REM, because you're feeding into the right things and bringing in the nature to keep it right, to keep that cure. You have to maintain it, like, so everybody comes out of their dreams. They not the same. They're not even acknowledging that they're part of something in life that holds keys of origin and health and education. It's information giving you. Babies, kids, automatically in the REM. You see them playing around. They seeing it all, but they're in their own world. I could be like screaming and telling everybody, hey, watch out for these type of man, you have frequencies. People have low vibes out here. They ain't looking out for you. It's out there, and the girl's just playing around like she's a plane, or she has a doll or something on. She's hearing my frequency. She knows that it's not a lie, so she's registering the wellness of it. So she's taking in this. Now let's say then you have a scantrum, nice lady, most sweetest looking lady, and goes up to the little girl while I'm screaming, and she's insinuating, putting faces on everybody, like this guy is interrupting the little girl that's just peaceful here. So as soon as the lady is insinuating, like trying to perceive me as a threat or a problem to the child or something, the scantrum lady, deceitfully trying to put these images out, words in my mouth, words in people's thoughts, because they need you to think, to pull you in that. They need you to think in that certain way. When nobody but themselves is perceiving that and then putting an image, and then they have a body with the image and people to witness that this is the body that they this is the image in their body that they encountered that day. As soon as as soon as the lady picks up the child or gets in the child, like trying to like console and cater to the child screams in panic, even through her sweet gestures to the kid, because the kid is in the REM. The kid can see these out of nature and sees the lady as a threat opposed from me. that I'm screaming and I'm screaming in public, but there's music playing and everything. I was trying to hear my voice over the music. And then the little girl is playing where she has her own voice and her own frequencies, flying around with the dial, playing around like they flying onto, you know what I'm saying? Like her own little, she in her REM. That's REM. That's all in the REM. And what you have here is also, so you got dreams, you have the kids, you have even in when the conceivement process, that's when you start seeing how things really is. When the baby is inside the stomach, in the mom's stomach, I said I have a book. I have a meditational book. You want to read on it? Just purchase it. Let me know if you can't find it. I have that. Where I just walked in the room, I felt. I'm not gonna think. I felt something. I looked over there. Mom's like, "Oh yeah." When you walked in, he kicked. So I'm like, "Yeah." So yeah, I come over here because I felt that too. When I looked, I wasn't looking at the stomach, but I turned right when he kicked. So then I'm like, I go because I feel energy. Bam, touching the stomach. And then in the book, I tell you what happens next. So, because I'm like repeating everything. And there's people that they want me to repeat because it's not about picking up. It's about just trying to manipulate and have people just act like this is like entertainment or something. This is you learn and you pick up and you move with truth. This is a movement for you to understand self, so you won't take self for granted, and yourself and your family and everything around you. You can help yourself and help others. Anyways, that's what it is. I'm gonna continue. So, right, there's essence from the like you coming from the inside of a body, growing. You are a living thing collecting information. Fluids is information. The heart, your heartbeat, whenever the organs are forming, you already know that you have that part of the organ because you feel all the organs around you, and you feel the outside of the energy outside of the stomach. That's what a being is doing. So to tell me after when the baby is born, you gotta teach the baby, like to walk and speak a language that is outside of its nature. You see what I'm trying to say? Although its language is to understand, is to know the body from the inside and out. From the inside and out. So you can't tell a baby what's the inside. It knows everything from the inside. But then in a baby, when it is growing, it's supposed to know nothing in the reality of the world. Because you're not a doctor. The doctor tells you what an organ. The doctor tells you your what's this. The X-rays tells you what's that. This is what tells you this. This medicine is big words for doctors to only know. And then everybody that's not a doctor then doesn't know health and has to go to a doctor to help and better themselves. Like, the person that knows more is the person that just came out of the body from the inside out. That's a meditational transformation. That's a meditational transformation right there from the REM to a body. So you have REM inside of you. That's what I'm trying to say. You're made of it. So you can't tell me that baby doesn't know, that the baby knows everything. That baby starts not knowing the things when it's taught from schools and different systems that are not really 100% connected to the REM. It brings you out, and then if you learn something from small, it's like you're just like a pattern. You're like a program. That's what I'm saying. You're like a program, artificial from artificial intelligence, because they teach you to know levels and grades and stuff. But look, the people that have taught me how to meditate and how to be one had never passed the third grade, but will walk all the way to treat the land and themselves right, to get spring water and the right minerals in their bodies, and knew how to get into and knew how to live within the realm and the trinity of the life cycle of how the world is worked and perceived for all living things, the universe and the earth, and the people living and maintaining that. That's what origin and a life for the realm is. Because we go from there, and then these people can't pass third grade. They have hardship. They don't even have schools that from that time that go more than third grade. Although these are the same people that kept the REM and us going. So these roots they have connections, that they have these traits that hold on, and they just infinity. There's people like in the different families. That's why I could connect to people and feel if they within the REM, and they could see themselves when they start creating with the REM. So you have dreams. What else do you have? Kids. So inside of the stomach, the child growing. That's all it knows. It knows veins. It knows the heart, it knows the liver, it knows everything, all the functions, how it functions, why it functions. What are you taking in? It sees what toxins don't belong. It sees the toxins separating. It sees the fights between the bacteria. It sees everything. Sees in information-wise, if they don't have eyes. But we are cells that collect information all the time. So we know all of it. And we know our own cure is to keep the maintaining of this. This is how you have different partitions, people that practice different wellness. Like you have grandmothers, you have people that do and have remedies that exceed whatever you could see in the medical field. That, for example, you have people that worked into the court system of curing all diseases, AIDS, cancer, and all this. Way in the 80s, like these people manifest. They had the solutions, though. They were in the REM, and I could hear the frequencies they give out. So they always said God led them to certain things that put all of the stuff from the reality out and kept the nature. So you start moving certain ways. You start moving, doing things. You hear your frequencies start appreciating what are the callings from the REMs. This is how he found treatment. This is how he found cures. This is how he found the natural sources that God he acknowledged and puts out, that God put out for everything to be well in this earth. It's a well earth, well cured balance in the earth, because God put it all out there for us to get it and maintain for it. So you have things like this, then it's put together with different compounds and solutions. It takes you there. Like, even if the world is not connected to it, because the world and the reality is not 100. It's not at 100. I'd rather be where there's 100. So I'm not watching a story of how these things unravel, and I can't say nothing about it. I can't do nothing about it. But I don't have the time to meditate, to put myself in a place where I could be like I'm like not even I'm like in a safe haven place, blanket that covers me over all of that, because I'm already in solutions before they want to come out and have 10-year runs of the problem, the problem, the problem, the problem. They don't even give life to the issues is already made before the problem even came in. You see what I'm saying? No solutions. Look, 6 years later after the pandemic, still superficial, still worldwide. The people that spoke on it are the people are what that have solutions. But all these places, they don't put the light on. They don't put the switch on. People like they don't put you out, because if they put me out, what happens to what the operations they have to keep everybody on low frequencies? What happens to the authorities and the servants then? They don't have nothing, because I get for every person that wants to put me in a show for the solutions, for the something to even be aware, and just for awareness, a real awareness, not a game to play with people's minds and keep people isolated, secluded from the truths and solutions. I'm not here for no controversy to make people worried and just stay in a state where they don't know and they don't have no knowledge of who they are and what they need to do. This is not a riding for people's minds and control over people's fears and the way you could deceitfully direct people to a certain way. I don't have no patience. I have no rights for that. I have all the rights to keep minds the way I always do, professionally, so people could get it and get the information so they could go on with their lives and get the right solutions, so it won't be a problem for years. They don't have to be a sub-solution or semi-solution, not 100, to then create more problems after with something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that for me to give to my son. I want to give my son 100, so when he moves forward, he knows he got a stepping stone on 100. He don't need to go on a half and a half from the people that give half and don't give nothing. Because at the end of the day, halves and halves and half don't mean a whole. You're not coming complete. It's gonna hurt your process, living wise, mentally, physically, economically, and socially. So don't manipulate. Well, this is what I have, and no, but we have it all. We have 100. You dropping me with servants and authorities to keep me secluded from getting my ends and getting my REMs and my practices together, because you definitely know that I could go to any shows right now, any programs, anybody that is for the truth, is to make difference, is to make changes. Then, all right, how much is that? You pay people thousands of dollars to do their presentations, their shows, to show up for things like this. And what happens? Then I could have all these things that are coming around, that they have me in low frequencies, with in low classes, so they can have witnesses. They need the witnesses, so people who have them thinking that they perceiving the story to the body, that they embody themselves of me, to deceive and hold people witness to it, that I am that person. So they need me to be around people. They can't have me in my own mansion or in my own place living where there's no witnesses, where I could block all that off, because then now they don't have a story. Now they don't have controversy to run years after years after years. They don't have taxpayers' money to use to pay servants or have stories to have personal gains of have me around, to use me, exploit me, and hold me against my own will on the taxpayers' money and these unlawful authorities running these operations. Because it's taking me away from the REM and catering to myself to others. They want to keep people isolated, secluded to it. And this is the from courts to personal, it's all like that. So I'm telling you that within the REM, that's why I said, even if you want to say, what's the matrix, this, like I said, what it is about the matrix and what God is. And then you see that you could play. Although the facts is there, The knowledge is there. The advance in for what civilization in history is been marked for has a different marking now with me. So I see for what it is. I'm not gonna lower myself, degrade myself, and put out false information of myself and the realm and how life is in reality. Because you're taking away from mine, mentally, physically, economically, and socially, holding me against my own will to live and perceive life. And you don't have solutions, but you have all this. So you're keeping people from solutions, giving people superficial care, artificial intelligence to keep them under this out of your nature bums, biological stress unity mechanism systems that are chained in with fraudulent authorities and servants, public servants to go with it. So to take me out of this, and I really, it doesn't even need to be here in the state, like I already said, and it's not. I have different, I can see different energies. I can see where my world and my energy needs to be to continue my growth in life. While you could decide on what you want to do with your own, because you can't hold the land, let alone hold the Trinity that puts the land down with your superficial care and your artificial intelligence of civilizations of these chains. I don't live and apply by it. So it doesn't have to be you. And it's not you. One member, one God. Trinity. That's all it is. So these realms are collected through these roots. You could dream. You could have these dreams. You could have daydreams. You haze. You mesmerize by the moons, by the universe, by the stars. These are all these things that get you memorized. You're going into the REM. When you're meditating, when you have a high potencies of health, living think factor, herbs, aromas, your visual that connects to your anatomy, that gives that strikes the core to go within the realms of that you in touch with it, you in touch with that care. Herbs, the marijuana, I already said it puts you feel like different senses. It's not about I'm hearing, like you're not off. You're getting the sense of what the photosynthesis from the plant is pulling all the health factors from the universe, from the sun. And this is what it's when you part of that and you're sharing that with the relationship with the plant. It brings you that information in your body. Now you know what medicine is. Now you know what medicine feels like, and now you know what curing and keeping maintenance of yourself is. So all of this is all plasma in frames of getting to your REM, to keeping up with your plasma. You have to keep that well to be able to connect to your plasma if you're disconnected. If so just to give you a roundup of how these things are already in your life and how you could perceive and try to connect with all of these different factors that I just mentioned. It's a care package for the REMs and people that are really that are starting to see that okay, these things are in life, they exist. We don't normally do, although These are things that you should do without even thinking or feeling like it's an obligation or a pattern. Because once you start seeing that, you could start looking at it's like a universal care. Like it will take care of you no matter where and what, and the world that you when you perceive it is gonna you're gonna inject instead of it putting into you you taking in out of nature things and projecting out of nature things. You're gonna be projecting of nature things. This is how you see that you connected with the REM and you're sharing it correctly with the people. You're gonna have impacts and effects like the way you see with me and the things that I'm creating and how I could stay clear and not even clear. I could see further because I could see already from past and see outside the realm of things that are not of 100 and things that are you could already possibly you managing because you're already within your realm and yourself and how you're managing in the world. You already perceived 100. So you just got to look at where the hundreds are missing out there and put your piece in. And this is when you see me put out my pieces from different fields and different places. I don't have not one field that I need to stop, because if I have to walk, I have to feel, I have to be, and me being in this world and servicing people and making my path happy and everything that comes around me feels within that realm, and I could connect realms and vibrations vibrate through these things, then I feel the world will be a better place. Whether it's one time is too many, because what if it only takes me to see the world of awe, and one God to see the world of awe. So we here for awe.